Good day and blessings, everyone. My name is Jason Benton. I'm the founder of Secure the Bag Network and also a senior loan officer at Highlands Residential Mortgage here in Miami, Florida. I'm here today because Robe asked me to come speak to its audience and its guests about financial literacy. I have a long history in finance. I've been doing it for about 15, 16 years now. But my expertise currently at the moment right now, as I wore many hats and done many things, and also including investing, I want to speak to you about purchasing a home. And I want to go from the beginning stages of when I speak to clients and when I conduct seminars all the way to the end process on what it should look like when you're getting ready to make a financial decision, such as buying a home. It's kind of complex. It's not a very difficult process to go through. Is tedious, but if you do it the right way, you prepare the right way and set your foundation, I promise you the process, depending on the lender you go with, hopefully you can call me if you're here in the state of Florida. um, I can get you through the process relatively quick and smooth and with the least stress as possible. So I'm going to be speaking to you in different segments. I'm going to go through the beginning, and then I'm going to go through where you want to end at, because I want you to understand this process regardless of how old you are right now. Start thinking about your process when you're buying things, large items, large ticket items. It could be from a home, to a car, to a vacation home. It can be anything that's big ticket that has to do with your money or the money of your family. So I want to dig in a little bit. I'll have my information up at the end so you can ask me questions, but it's definitely a process that's worth putting the time and effort into, because it'll make everything better in the end. So hang on tight. I'm about to lay the plan out for you so you all can have financial freedom and financial success for yourself and your families. So one of the first things you want to do when you're on this journey of purchasing a home is go speak to a loan officer, right? The pre-qualification process is very key in any process you're going through when you're trying to apply for something, right? You want to know. Or if you're not buying a home and you just want to figure out where you're at financially, you can sit down yourself, but I will advise you to go to a financial advisor in your area and speak to them about where you're currently at, so you know how to map out a plan with them to get to where you're trying to get to. It's very critical in building financial stability to have a plan, to have a daily plan, to have a weekly plan, to have a monthly plan, because being on track or in tracking your goals and having something written down, it makes it easier to understand the process and understand where you're at in the process and how to get there. When you're starting out, everybody is not at the end point. Sometimes on social media and we talk to your friends and your family and people who actually have some financial success in their lives. You're seeing the end point most of the time. You're not actually seeing the process it took them to get there. And that's what I'm trying to embark on with you, is to show you how you start the process. Everybody's process is going to be different, but the road traveled is the same. It's just sometimes, some people get there faster depending on where they're at. And this is important to understand so you don't get discouraged during this process. So the first thing we're going to do during this whole process is that we need to speak with someone, right? We need to get pre-qualified to find out where we're at. Where's our financial foundation? How can we get to our destination with goal setting, with advice from that loan officer or financial expert to make sure the playing field and everything is leveled, right? Because you want to be level when you go buy a home. You want to be on the same playing field as other people, and one of the ways to do that is knowing where you're at financially. So when you start running the numbers, you can go for that house that you can afford at the time. It's not going to be a forever home most of the time, but at least you know where you're at, and then you're able to get into that first process, that first home, and then be able to start building for that next step into that second home or that dream home or investment property or vacation home or whatever it is at the time. Okay. So once we get past the first part of building that foundation, figuring out what you're looking to do and what direction you want to go, I'm going to ask for your income, and then I'm going to ask for your assets. And then before I even look at them, I'm going to look at your credit. I need to figure out where you're at credit wise. And this is important to start focusing on credit. Regardless of where you're at in your life, I need you to stop what you're doing and I need you to pull your credit report. So if you already went to a financial advisor and he has access to pull your report, get it from him. If you went somewhere else and you have access to get your report, get it from them. But the thing that's important is don't look at no apps. What I need you to do is I need you to go to the credit bureaus. It can be Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax. Pull your free credit report or go to some of these online sites, make sure they're reputable. You can ask, credit repair specialists, different people like that. I need you to pull your credit report and I need you to sit down by yourself first. I need you to look at your credit. I need you to see what's on that credit, if it's accurate, and what's not accurate on that credit. It's important before you go to credit repair and before you start getting pre-qualified with people, understand what's on there. Now we're starting to paint a better picture, right? We're starting to paint a better picture. We're starting to understand what's on there that you see, that's no surprises, and why your score is at where your score is at. Because before you get to the next step, as getting pre-qualified, getting that pre-qualification letter out to a realtor, and then putting offers in on homes and going to see homes, you want to make sure everything is in line and that your loan officer understands everything that you have on that credit report is accurate or inaccurate, so we can help you work on and getting it fixed. We have different processes and different things we can do, at our institutions to help you get things off your credit, get your credit score boost in a short amount of time, so we can make this process better. But very, very important, check the credit first. You take your chance to look at it yourself if you can. It's coming from a loan officer. I need you to understand this process, because the smarter you are and the more detailed you are about going into the process and the more knowledge you have, the easier it is for us to go through the process, because then you already on top of it. You already know what's going on. You already know what's on your credit, what should be coming off. You already know what you need to work on, and then that'll make the process smoother. So now we can start putting time frames for when certain things are done. So again, let's go back. Pulling that credit report. Either have somebody pull it from you, or you go to a reputable site or one of the credit bureaus and pull your credit report. Not just the score, you need to pull the report also, so you can see what the score is, what's reflecting it. Because most of the time people have, I know some of my clients come in, even them with the high credit scores and the 700s plus, they have things on their credit report sometime that they have no idea, that's not even theirs, is not reporting accurate, or was an account that was closed a long time ago that's still reporting. These things affect your credit on your report. So we can see what we can do to work to get them off and make sure you're in a better position to purchase a home and make the process a lot smoother for you. So the next step after this, we're going to go into checking your income and then checking your assets, so we can keep this ball moving and making sure you get the best pre-approval out there. So when you go out there, you have one of the strongest offers. So now that we check the credit, we want to make sure the credit is good. We want to make sure everything is fine. We move on. We move on now to your income and your assets. This is going to just entail what income you're bringing in monthly, right? What you're bringing in monthly from your job, whether you're 9 to 5, self-employed, full-time, part-time, military, you're collecting disability income, retirement, pension, whatever income you're collecting, we want to know. We want to see your ability to repay the loan, right? So we'll get all the assets. Just be honest. Just put everything out on the table, how you're getting the income in. If it's going to be you in the loan by yourself, then that's good, as long as your income suffice. But the more people on the loan, say such you and your husband, it minimizes the risk for the bank, what gives you a better opportunity to actually become approved. Which I tell a lot of my clients, when you're trying to buy a home, when you're looking to be approved, just think of it in terms of risk, right? One person with bad credit, with low income, is a risk to the bank for repaying the loan. But if I had somebody else in that loan, that lowers the risk, because now you have somebody else liable for paying back that debt, and the banks look at that a little different, during the process. But it's very important. Then once we got your income and everything situated, we're going to see your assets. Anything that's liquid that you can take money out from the beginning stage, you start the process, to the closing day. Those are things that we really want to see if we can liquidate. If you're going to get gifts from family members, depending on the loan program you're actually in, those things can actually happen. And then we gotta, we figure out how to make this work for you, to make the process as smooth as possible. I know I keep reiterating, make the process smooth as possible, but when you prepare to purchase a home ahead of time, 6 months, 3 months, a year, it makes the process smoother, and you don't hear so many horror stories that other people go through when they don't properly prepare to purchase a home. Now you have an advantage because now you're told, you're walked through the process, you're being shown how to actually start preparing to purchase a home, regardless of how far out you're going to be. And then you'll have more success than everybody else. You'll get through the process quicker, and then you'll be ready to jump back in and get a second home or investment property to continue to build that legacy. So the next process in this process is actually receiving the pre-qualification letter, and I'm going to touch on that now. So at this point, we built the foundation. We spoke about credit. We spoke about income. We spoke about assets. We spoke about the program that fits you based on your income, your assets, and your credit score that you can go into, and also what you're looking to do with you and your family. So now it's time to look for a realtor. You can use, at this point, you can use any realtor you want out there that's licensed in your state that you choose to use. If you come to me, you don't have a realtor, I have a team of realtors that I work with that are some of the best, I think, in my area. Everybody's opinion is different, but I've worked and have done multiple deals with these individuals, and they are outstanding. And I trust them with my clients just as they trust me with their clients, and I will put you in the right hands. And when you speak to this realtor and we give them this pre-approval letter and we sit there and we discuss what you're looking for, they know already, hey, Jason looked at the income, the assets, the credit, everything is good. This is the purchasing power this borrower has. They're ready to go into the market and compete with other offers on this property. And that's what you want when you're actually purchasing a home. You want to make sure all the details are gone through before you start putting offers in, before people start giving you pre-approval letters. Because if they're just saying, hey, do you work, how much you make, hey, what's your credit score, and you're not providing them with these different documents, then guess what? There's too many things that can pop up that can stop you from purchasing a home. Also, you're going to be asked to give an escrow deposit. That escrow deposit, when you get that contract accepted, is going to be put into an escrow with the title company. That money is you can lose that money. That money is not refundable. Just saying, hey, I don't want to do this process or I don't qualify. You can lose that money if proper steps are not being met with you, with the realtor and with your loan officer. So we want to prepare you. We want to make sure that you understand the process as it goes on. That's why education is key. Questions is key. There's no such thing as a bad question. If you don't know, then you ask. If you do know, you need reassurance, you ask. If anybody on either side gets annoyed with you asking questions, then you should not be working with them, because it's about educating you through the process. I have people who've bought multiple homes and they come to me and they still don't really know the details of the process. And I sit down with them and I explain it to them, regardless of where you're at in your home purchasing stages. If you're a first-time home buyer, second-time investor, whatever you are, seasoned, everyone has questions because the market constantly changes. And that's why that pre-approval is so important, because if you're not properly qualified, you get out there, it's a shift in the market, and then now you're looking on the outside in because you didn't have everything ready to go and was properly pre-approved. So ask the questions, ask them, why am I pre-qualified for this? How did you come up with this number? This is important because then they can tell you, hey, I look at your income, I look at your assets, I look at your credit, because there's things on credits, and FHA just made another shift recently with the student loans. Now we can calculate the student loans differently. Guess what? If you're not properly qualified, then now you might have got pre-qualified several months ago. The loan officer qualified you. You didn't know, but guess what? Now you can't qualify for the loan. Now you can qualify for the loan. Back then you couldn't, but they changed the student loan guidelines and FHA. So now instead of using a certain percentage, they use a lower one. Now you might be able to qualify for that home. So it's important to ask these questions to make sure your loan officer knows what they're doing. They're licensed, so they should know what they're doing. Sometimes things are overlooked, but you can stop that process by asking questions, asking the realtor questions, and staying on them. So the loan officer is definitely known that you are serious about buying a home, and you're always top of mind, which is important in this industry. I know a lot of us are extremely, extremely busy, but if you go through that process and make sure they have you in their process, I promise you the road to purchasing a home will be a lot less stressful during that process. So now we're going to speak about when you start looking for a home. So now that we're pre-qualified, the realtor has your letter now. Now it's time to search for a home. Depending on what area you are, it can be very, very competitive in this market. I know here in South Florida where we're at is extremely competitive. I mean, we've been getting lines, literally lines down the block. HOA communities where I had some realtors told me the police were called by the association because there was so many people blocking driveways. It's just crazy now. A couple reasons. One, it's a seller's market, so it's very low inventory, and the house prices are extremely high. They're climbing every day, but the interest rates are still low. So that's giving people incentive to go out there and purchase in this market. But when you go out there and we have the pre-qualification, you're pre-qualified, you just want to make sure you create a relationship with your realtor so your realtor knows exactly what you're looking for, right? You don't want to be going on house hunting tours and going to all these places if it's not in your price range. One, or two, is not the criteria that you're looking for you and your family. So be very specific with the realtor up front. This is what I want. This is what I'm looking to afford. I don't care if I qualify for 500,000. I'm looking at 350, right? Just be honest, because at that point he or she will tell you, hey, this is not realistic in this market, or we have to shift to another area because the house prices match your criteria in that area. And it's something that's just happening in the market right now. So also speak with your loan officer, such as myself. I'm in the market also, so I keep my ears to the market. I watch every day. I look at the market every day, the real estate market and also the stock market. So I see the shifts going on in my community, outside of my community. I see what's going on. So when you have those questions, your loan officer should be aware of what's going on, especially if it's in their backyard, on how to make sure you're properly getting the letters out to the realtors, following up with the selling realtor, trying to reach out to the buyers to try to see what you can do to win the offer to the home. They're asking for money over appraised value now, so that's something you also have to consider. I have a video on my YouTube page that talk about buying over appraised value. You can contact me, and I can point you in the right direction for that one. Or I'll have Robe actually upload here with some of my other content that actually pertains to home purchasing. That'll give you all some more information on that. But in this market, it's very, you have to be patient. It's very competitive, very, very competitive. Patience is key. So when you get out there, just know this, just know this before you even go, that you might have to put in multiple offers before you get the home that you want, unless you know somebody or unless you're probably giving them an offer that they can't refuse. But check your budget, check with your loan officer, and check with your family and figure out what are you willing to pay for and what are you willing not to pay for. It'll also save a lot of stress knowing ahead of time before you get out there and start setting expectations that you really can't meet, or you go into a house that you really love and you don't know how to negotiate for that house or know what to do in that instance. But you have a realtor there who should help you through that process, help you negotiate, help you put your offer in to win that offer so you can get into your new home within 30 days or less. That's pretty much the meat and potatoes of home searching. The realtor will actually give you some app of theirs, and you can also check there. You can heart it, and then they'll start looking into different properties. Um, you can also ask around town, ask family and friends also during this home. Do you know anybody buying a home in this area or that area? Do you know anybody selling a home? Because sometimes you might be able to get in before the seller actually finds a realtor. Then your realtor can get in with the seller and come up to some type of negotiation, some type of something you can do so you can win that property, and then they can save some money from hiring another realtor. Or you can go look online yourself to see, if something out there pending, which means there's a contract on, but the contract might fall through. So you can be second in line or third in line or whatever it is, depending on how many offers were put in. But be confident, be strong. This part right here takes a lot in this market, especially since COVID. It's very, very, very competitive, but just be patient. And I'm telling you, you will be a home buyer. You will purchase a home within a reasonable amount of time if you just stay persistent with it. Congratulations, you have your offer accepted, which is very, very great. I know it was a tough road most of the time, especially over the past year plus, but you have your offer accepted now. Now we got to go through the stages of making sure all your documents and everything is updated, and everything comes back to me to submit the file to the underwriter. The underwriter is actually the person at the bank that's going to give the final approval for the loan. So once you have that offer accepted, the next step in that is making sure that your loan officer has everything that's updated, from your pay stubs to your bank statements to any other thing that you're showing that needs to be updated, any other documents. Once that happens, it goes to processing, and then the processing passes on to the underwriter. So during that stage, your offer is accepted, but now we have to give it to the underwriter to give us final approval. So during that final approval process, what's going to happen is you're going to have an inspection done on the property to make sure the property is on the up and up and there's no issues with the property or anything that's going to be a major issue that's going to cause you to, within a year or two, to have to rebuild or have to address it. So that inspection will be for your protection. Two, you're going to have an escrow deposit, with it's going to be about 3 to 5 days in which you have to give a deposit to the actual title company in good faith that to the seller that you're serious about purchasing the home. Now, this is another thing, depending on where you live, it can ranges from 500, which I've done in South Carolina personally, to 5 to 10,000 that's done here in South Florida, depending on the home size and the area you're in. After that, we sit back, we wait for the appraisal to come in. The appraisal is actually going to be done by a third party. That appraisal was done because we need to compare we need to find out the price of the property that you're purchasing by comparing it to other properties that have sold in the area within the past few months. And then once that number comes in, we should be good to go. We have to see where it's at. Hopefully it's on the number that we negotiated with the seller, or it's over to have a little bit of equity. If it comes back lower, then that's just something we have to speak with the realtors about, the seller and the selling realtor, and come up to a negotiation on where you feel comfortable paying above appraised value, or negotiate wherever the appraisal will come in. As long as it's not too low, you agree on that price. And then once that happens, we make sure the underwriter has everything so she can give us final approval for a clear to close, which we're going to discuss now. Congratulations, you are clear to close. That is some of the best words we hear in this industry. When we hear the words clear to close, that means now you are almost officially owners of a new home. The next step in this process is just setting a closing date with you, your realtor, the sellers, the title company, to get this thing signed and hand you those keys. Closing day is here. It's a great day. Everybody's happy. Everybody's excited. Now you're going to be new homeowners. You're going to pop some champagne. You're going to bring your family. If this is the first time in your family's history or the first of your generation or whatever it is that you are a homeowner, congratulations. It's huge. It's very, very huge, because now not only are you buying something you can call home that you own, right? But it's a legacy builder now that you can leave for your kids, you can leave for yourself, you can pull money from to build and buy other assets and buy other things, to put kids through school. It's huge. It's a legacy builder to have a property, especially if it's in a great area that's appreciated in value. It means everything. It means everything. So congratulations. This is huge. This day is one of the best days. I love spending these days with my clients, depending on where they're at, because I do a lot of far away closings. I don't get to as many closings as I would like to, but when I do, I try to zoom in with the clients and speak to them and their families. And it's just a good feeling to be able to help someone get into a place and in their lives financially to secure something that's probably going to be one of the biggest purchases that you make in your lifetime, which is amazing. And it's just making sure you go through the process. You're talking to people, you're educating yourself, and you're being realistic about what's going on out there. And if you do all these things, you put everything together, I promise you this process will not be the horror stories that you hear out there. Things can still happen. Me personally buying homes, things have happened. Some was Mother Nature. One of my homes I bought a few years ago played a part in it. Sometimes it could be other things with me selling a home. One of my properties, I had an issue with something that was out of my control, but you just overcome it. You educate yourself, and at the end, you're going to be standing tall and very excited and very have another notch under your belt of some wealth, which I wish for you all. If you have any questions for me, please please reach out to me. I'm going to leave my information at the end of this video. Call me, email me, watch my videos on my YouTube channel. I just started like a month or two ago. Just, it doesn't matter what state you're in. If you have a question, I'll be willing to talk. We can sit down, we can Zoom, we can do whatever. I want to give as much knowledge out there that I have, and just continue to educate yourself, continue on this journey, continue to ask the right questions, and continue to ask questions in general. And I promise you, you will be where you want to be eventually. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate it. Big shout out to Robe. Thank you. Every time we do something together, it's always amazing. I appreciate you. You all be safe. Talk to you soon.